just don't care. 5,000 leaders never scared. Raining noise is the moment they feared. Get up, still up here, right here.
Pop on some gloves, strap on a face mask and try not to cough on the person next to you. It's Friday, we're live, and it's time for the last leg. Tonight on the show, we give Ebola a checkup, assess the state of Scotland, and have a session on the couch with comedian Noel Fielding. On the show that always makes a splash. G'day, I'm Hills. Welcome to The Last Leg, the show that regularly pulls the news apart but can't quite remember how to put it back together again. Joining me on the couch, as always, are the pride of Dartmoor, Josh Widdicombe, and the man who thought the saltire was a biscuit usually eaten with cheese, Alex Brooker. Before we tackle the big news, every week we get a whole stack of tweets about this show, many of them wondering how to refer to us. Alistair Cope asked this week, is it okay that my dad described your show as the guy with one leg, the guy with deformed limbs, and the dwarf?
I didn't know. I'm presuming I'm the dwarf. But I'm not even shorter than Alex.
Yeah, sort of.
It's just people overlook that. Like, if you stand up, yeah.
I feel like I'm at school.
I don't think we're that much.
Our bums are touching. This is really
In fact, we look like cops. It's quite cool.
I just realised I can't do tiptoes.
If you consider that Alex is wearing an extra leg as well, he's essentially on stilts.
Do you know the weird thing is, we didn't know this, but we found this out during the week doing a radio interview. Alex is colourblind, is that right?
Yeah, it never rains, but it pours for Alex. Sorry, Shorty.
It's just I'm just unlucky the fact that I can't even colour coordinate the clothes I have to get someone to put on me.
Now, as you can imagine,
that's the bleakest joke I've ever heard.
Welcome to The Last Leg. Guess what we're going to talk about this week?
Well, as you can imagine, we have had a lot of tweets this week about the ongoing trial of Oscar Pistorius over the shooting of Riva Steenkamp. And although, listen, not much has been added in the last couple of days, one thing did catch my attention. The defence lawyer, Barry Rue, claimed in his summation that Oscar Pistorius had what he called a slow burn reaction to having lived his life with a disability that left him vulnerable and anxious, and that was one of his defences. Which kind of interested me. Do you feel you have a slow burn reaction to having lived your life with a disability that leaves you vulnerable and anxious?
I don't know. I mean, I smashed my PlayStation controller last week because I've lost on FIFA. But then I'm playing FIFA with only one thumb. Maybe.
It's an interesting one, because then I thought about it and I thought, do you know what? Here's something I've never said before and I've never seen a disabled person say before. Having a disability is fucking annoying. Do you know what I mean? It's a pain in the ass. It's like not constantly, but it just... Okay, you guys over here, do you agree with me? Bang! Good, three of us. It's not an everyday thing, but sometimes it does get to you and it does give you the shits. Now, does it mean I'm going to snap in?
What do you mean by gives you the shit?
Sorry. Sorry. Is there an Australian translator in the room? It makes me grumpy. But having said that, I don't think it's one of... I mean, yeah, it's annoying, and sometimes you forget about it, and sometimes it pops into your head, but I don't think it's going to make me snap. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's a... I don't think if given the point...
Well, I hope not. I'm the only one here without a disability. I'm starting to get the shit.
Which then makes me wonder, I mean, is Oscar Pistorius' lawyer playing the disability card?
I mean, the thing with that is if you've allegedly committed a crime where you're not wearing any legs, And I'd suggest that the card's almost played for you, in a way, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So you can't, you're not going to escape it. That's the matter of the facts.
Okay, well, here's a question for you. When was the last time you played the disability card?
About 30 seconds ago. I've got one leg and I'm on a show called The Last Leg and I park at the front. I mean, I'm literally like, oh.
Can I just check it's not an actual card?
No, there isn't an
No,
actual...
right, okay.
It's not like
I didn't know whether you guys got a card and it was like, if you got 9 disabilities, you got 1 free. I think we should get one made up. If the producer's listening, which I hope he is, during the break, I want Alex to get a disability card made up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I've never used the physical card until I get one. But like, I use it. Like, I went to a festival last year where Justin Timberlake was on, and we went to go and watch it. And there was loads of people, and I was thinking, I don't want to watch this from the back. And then as I walked around the side, I walked past the wheelchair platform, and the bloke, as I walked past, the security guard went, "I love your show, by the way." And just in my head, I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, well, he knows about the legs, so I can play the disability card here, and also the TV card. So I'm double parked. It would be rude of me not to. Just as quick to him, I don't suppose there's any spaces in there, is there? And he was like, oh yeah, come through. And like, so I'm sat there on the wheelchair platform. I mean, it got a little bit awkward when I started dancing to Rock Your Body. And yes, you know.
Come on, guys, join in!
By the way, the judge in the Pistorius Trial announced that she would deliver the verdict on September 11. So what could possibly go wrong? And listen, if you were watching the show last week, you would know that I bought a chair used in the opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games, which prompted Sarah Gill to tweet, "You should bid for a tent from the closing ceremony for Friday's show." Now, if you don't know, this was inspired by tents that were used in the closing ceremony that looked a lot like this. Sarah, I went online and bought one of those tents as well, and it is here in the studio with us tonight. There it is. And just like the closing ceremony in which the athletes spent the first 10 minutes in the tent, then emerged at the right moment, our guest tonight, Noel Fielding, is already in the tent. Has to wait until we introduce him. Are you all right in there, Noel?
No, I'm actually dying a little bit. It's pretty good in here, though. There's a jacuzzi in here. There's a sort of race of people in here who've never seen sunlight. I'm really enjoying myself. My eyeballs are sweating.
We will get to you soon, I promise.
I'm not coming out.
What's that?
I'm not coming out.
All right, we do need to get on with the show. And listen, because we're live, you can interact with us throughout the show by sending in your Is It OK questions. Tweet us at The Last Leg, hashtag Is It OK. For example, is it OK that there's a long line of people angry with comedian Joan Rivers today after she declared that some Palestinians deserve to die? Yes. Is it OK to think that Adele is at the front of that line saying, wait your turn, bitches? Now, the majority of Is It OKs this week concern the story that has gone viral in more ways than one, the outbreak of the Ebola virus, with Gavin Mullins tweeting to say, is it OK to be literally shitting myself about Ebola?
It depends what you're shitting.
Yeah, it depends. Like, if he sat on a toilet in Sierra Leone tweeting that, I'd be a little bit more worried. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I hope he doesn't mean literally shitting himself.
No, I don't think he does. Because I think he'd probably have contacted a doctor rather than Adam Hills.
Yes, the disease on everyone's lips, hopefully not literally, Gavin, is the Ebola virus. It's a highly infectious disease with no known cure that kills 90% of people who catch it. It's named after the African river near which the first cases were identified in the 1970s, thus lowering the house prices of every dwelling on the Ebola River. A similar thing happened in the 1920s to the residents of Syphilis Valley, and in the 1850s to anyone with a house overlooking Lake Gonorrhea. Guys, should we be worried?
I'm not sure.
Sorry, it's very weird to have a tent laughing.
Hang on, tent. I've not even got to the punchline yet.
The tent loves setups.
I think, like, I was reading up about it, and as far as I can see, the way you can catch it is by exchanging bodily fluids with an infected person, fruit bat, or monkey.
Oh, shit.
I think we've got a contender for the best joke ever said by a tent.
Do you know what I love is that normally when someone makes a joke on the show, they cut to a camera shot of the person. Every time there's a joke, it's just a tent on screen.
I'm doubling up with a tent on stage.
I'm going to do my next Edinburgh show from in there.
But while we're on the subject of tents, it's a seamless link. With the quarantine thing, they put everybody in quarantine even though it's not airborne.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that because just like make sure, as long as a person's not on Tinder, I think you're going to be all right.
Was the tent chuckling then?
I'm having sex.
Not with a fruit bat, I hope. If you've got a boner, you're not going to go dating anyway. Like, you've got bigger issues than being single, haven't you? I mean, you're not getting on there going, what am I looking for? One night stands, quite literally.
If you're worried, by the way, symptoms of Ebola start with intense weakness, muscle pain, headache, and a sore throat.
Sounds like a hangover.
Is it worse than hay fever?
It is worse than hay fever and the hangover. It's followed by vomiting, diarrhea, rash, impaired kidney function, and in some cases, internal and external bleeding.
Shit.
Yeah, you're not going to just have a Barocca to get over that. If I have an Alka-Seltzer, I'll be fine.
Personally, I think it is worth being concerned about, but I don't think there's any point getting too stressed about it. Much like this person I found who asked an online forum this week, and I quote, "Should I be worried about Ebola, or is it one of those things that gets hyped up and ends up being largely ineffective, like the Brazil team?"
Very Brazilian crowd.
A lot of Brazilians in the audience. Look, I'm no doctor, but I'd say Ebola is more of a worry than Brazil, but not quite as scary as Germany in football terms. It's Costa Rica. Do you know what I mean? It's strong, it's worth being wary of, but you're probably not going to have to face it in the final.
That's how a doctor should. That's how they should give their diagnosis. Just go. Good news. It's England. You'll have forgotten about it in a week. It'll be fine.
And look, the thing to remember is no one in Britain has ever died from Ebola, right? Meanwhile, last week, though, 3 people managed to get photos with members of the royal family in the background, which means you are literally more likely to get a selfie with the Queen than you are to catch Ebola. And look, there is a lot of fear-mongering around, and we want to calm people down and allay their fears, so tonight's poll is this. What else are you more likely to do in Britain than catch Ebola? Just, I don't know, for example, you're probably more likely to see Nigel Farage hug a gypsy.
I don't quite say it, but do a TV show where I talk to a tent.
What else is more likely to happen in Britain than you catching Ebola? Tweet us at the Lash Leg. Lash Leg. That's right, that's for the Dutch viewers. Tweet us at the Last Leg, hashtag it more likely. So I believe the tent is actually tweeting, is that right?
Yeah, basically, I'm not coming out. I'm just gonna. I've got a phone in here, so I'm pretty much set up. I've got water. There's a bar in here.
I think we might actually have to introduce our guest out of the tent.
Okay.
He said, "I've got tent foot. Help." Technically, you're now eligible for the Paralympics. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight is a rock star of comedy. He's one half of the Mighty Boosh, a team captain on Nevermind the Buzzcocks, and the star of the TV series Noel Fielding's Luxury Comedy. Welcome out of the tent, Noel Fielding!
there's that kind of feeling of we never thought it was a bit like, you know, when the Chilean miners came to the surface.
I thought it was just some sort of elaborate kidnapping. I thought you'd locked it. Can you lock a tent?
Only from the inside, I
I
think.
feel like a sort of weird sort of Labrador now, and at some point you might go on, get back in your boat.
Did you see any of the Commonwealth Games, by the way?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, what did you make of it?
But I liked it. I quite like watching athletics, but thought that the closing ceremony was a bit weird.
It was a what threw you about it?
All of it.
And listen, we did have a lot of tweets about the games, including Reese Wilkins, who said, "Is it okay to ask how Adam Hills feels about England topping the medal table over Australia at the Commonwealth Games?"
You were very cocky last week, weren't you? And now, we beat you as Britain, and now we're getting into smaller countries. Basically, the only way you'd beat us is if we went at you, just one of us against you at a time.
Look, the answer is I'm kind of ambivalent about it. As far as I'm concerned, it's completely arbitrary which country you're born in, and even more pointless to claim some credit for the sporting achievements of the people that happen to have been born in the same place. Unless Australia win, in which case I'll dine out on it for as long as Wendy Becker-Davies said, "Is it okay to say Gary Lineker has tiny legs?" and attach this photo.
I'm not the right person to be criticising how someone's legs look. So.
The great thing about having tiny legs is you can stand up in a tent.
It looks like they've got a Gary Lineker puppet.
No, if you were curating a closing ceremony, what would you throw in? What would you do?
Well, I quite like human tripods, you know, those big sort of on a moped maybe, you know, or a motorbike. I'd have a child driving it. An element of danger. Maybe some ape masks.
Oh, you love a good ape mask, don't you?
Right, yeah, I thought if everyone wore ape masks, it would be quite fun.
Yeah.
Shadow puppets.
Oh, now we're talking.
They've gone out of fashion, haven't they?
Thankfully.
You could have done some from your tent.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the games themselves created a sense of pride in Scotland that's been missing ever since Mel Gibson turned out to be a racist. A sense of pride which many hoped would carry over into the upcoming Scottish independence vote. Unfortunately for most, the debate on the vote this week saw Alex Salmond flap around hopelessly like, well, a stranded salmon. And personally, I think I was surprised he didn't capitalise more on the success of the Commonwealth Games. You've got the whole, all of Scotland are fired up, the games have gone well. I think he should just have walked out on stage, come out of a tent wearing Kylie's headdress, Lulu's kilt with half a bottle of Glenlivet shouting, "Did you like my party?" This week, a whole group of celebrities threw their names into the hat as people like Mick Jagger, David Attenborough, Patrick Stewart and Helena Bonham Carter signed an open letter to the people of Scotland asking them to vote no to independence. Yeah, because that's what Scots love, English people telling them what to do.
I mean, they're not going to receive it because that's not an official stamp.
It's a big letter, isn't it?
A big leaving card. Just taken it towards them and gone, sign this.
Like, is it going to... No Scottish person's going to be going to the polls going, I'm going to vote to stay... I'm going to vote to leave. Wait a minute, Ben Fogle wants me to stay.
It actually works, though. So, like, if you were getting dumped and just be like, well, I've got a letter signed by Professor Xavier of X-Men.
The official song for their campaign is Queen's "You're My Best Friend," which made everyone in Wales go, "Oh, really?" We will be covering more of the big news after the break, but on a lighter note, a fitness fanatic in America made news this week by using their fitness tracker to mark out funny shapes when they went running. If you haven't seen them, here's one of the maps.
That is someone who really hates their hometown.
Here's the next one. I love the level of just ingenuity and thoughtfulness in this, and of course, you can't do it without doing this classic.
And now the pubes are like shuttle runs.
And look, while we may not be the fittest people in the world here at the last leg, the chance to do something childish in public did inspire us. So this afternoon, Alex, Josh and I did this. All right, lads, I've mapped this out. We work together as a team, all as one. We can do something pretty special. We start by going left. Cool.
really need the toilet. Sorry. I think it could be a number 1 off thing.
Alex, thought it was only number 1.
I'll tell you what, I'm losing some weight today. Right, let's go.
Oi!
Fellas, jumping in?
Yeah, go on. Well, I don't know about you lads, but I think that's mission accomplished. Don't be a dick. We'll be back with more of the last leg in a minute with Noel Fielding, Bernie Eccleston, and some more fitness tips. See you soon. Welcome back to the last leg, where we are still joined by comedian Noel Fielding. A couple of things I need to point out during the ad break. Apparently, Twitter is all abuzz. All they're talking about is in the last little video package we showed you. Apparently, Alex had a camel toe going on.
Can't bloody win, can I?
I know. And people before the show were asking about the shirt, the shirt that you had on last week with the leather strap across your boobs. Honestly, people before the show were saying, this week, is he going to have M&S or S&M?
Little of column man and
and Josh, you've got
I've got a little present for Alex. It's a disability card. So you can have that.
Do I get a stamp for every obvious disability gag I do?
Yeah, every time you make a disability joke, you get a stamp, and then when you complete it, we sack you from the show.
Now, Noel, we should talk about your TV series. It's called Luxury Comedy.
Yeah.
It's on E4 on Thursday nights.
Is it?
It is.
Yep. For people who haven't seen the show, how would you describe it to them?
Well, I don't know if I could. It's quite psychedelic. It's quite weird. There's lots of animation in it, mixed with live action, but it's got a story this time, so a little easier to understand than the last one.
There was a lovely review I read for it last week that said it's best viewed while very drunk.
I wouldn't advise it. You'll vomit. Through your eyes.
Here's a little clip from Luxury Comedy.
What is a geometric boxfish?
Well, the guy in the pet shop said he was part salamander, part Rubik's Cube. It's like a little tasty hybrid.
What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
Wow, he's terrifying.
Yeah, well, the moves probably upset him a little bit. He's got a mouth on him, hasn't he? Right, that'll come clean. I've got him a little bit cheeks. He's got a few issues.
You had said that you thought the first series was possibly a little too weird for people.
Not for me, but for other people, yeah. We did kind of want to make something quite unusual for the first one. We sort of wanted, that was our aim, was to make the weirdest show that's ever been on television.
Yeah.
But this one, we've got a story this time, and I'm playing a kind of more normal character, so...
Have you got a talking tent?
Do you know what? I've missed the trick.
Well, look, knowing your love of the bizarre, we have hand-picked one story for you this week.
Okay.
Neil Robbins said, is it okay to ask Wikimedia why they're being dicks about a photo of a monkey? Now, this is the full story. A few years ago, an English photographer travelled to Indonesia and set up a camera amongst a group of monkeys. The monkeys then used the camera to take photos of themselves, one of which looked like this. Wikipedia posted the image on its website and said that the photographer had no claim over the copyright because he didn't actually take the photo. Which means technically the monkey owns the copyright.
Wow.
Noel, thoughts?
That monkey's got an agent now. Directing short films. It's quite a good shot, actually. Great composition. That monkey knows his shit.
the monkey only took it because he was pissed off because the guy was swinging in his tyre.
I went to Costa Rica and some monkeys came into the place I was staying, quite a lot of them, and it was quite frightening, and I didn't know what to do, so I locked myself in the bathroom. And the local said, "Oh, if you want to get rid of them, you just go like this. They don't like applause."
Really?
Yeah, you can kill a monkey with a standing ovation. It frightens them.
Wow, okay, good to know. Good to know for the future.
Yeah.
Or am I going to be surrounded by monkeys going like this and they're just going to go... back to the big news now, and this tweet from Paul Thompson. Is it okay that Bernie Ecclestone is bribing his way out of a bribery charge? In a frankly incomprehensible story, Formula One boss Bernie Ecclestone managed to avoid bribery charges in a German court this week by paying $100 million to the German government. Apparently, under German law, certain charges can be avoided if the defendant pays an appropriate amount of money. Ecclestone now remains neither guilty nor innocent. And look, the Channel 4 lawyers have advised us that this is a legally tricky area, and we have to be very careful about what we say.
So I'm not allowed... It doesn't imply guilt or innocence.
No.
But could I speak in a sarcastic tone?
No. Do you know what? Just be blunt and say what you feel.
Okay, I think he's up to his eye. Up his chicane.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when his lawyers broke that news. It must be like, never guess what, Ben? You know you're on that bribery charge. Guess how you can get out of it? We're not shitting you at all.
And while we're talking the Big Burn, here is a classic clip of Bernie Ecclestone arriving at court. A clip that, much like his girlfriends, never gets old.
How do you feel ahead today?
There's Bernie, arriving in court.
Anyone can nail that, can't
Now it's stuck.
I love the way he tries to style it out by pretending.
Yeah.
Surely you can nail this one. No.
Still can't.
Is he on mushroom?
You know that's why he didn't want to do this court case, because it was up an escalator. He thought, I can't do that.
Turns out the door is the only thing he couldn't buy his way out.
I saw a fly in one of those doors once. That's got to suck, hasn't it, for a fly? I'm thinking, how the hell am I going to get out of here?
Did you see that? Do you have any thoughts on Bernie Ecclestone?
Oh, I love him.
Generally, you love him?
Generally in life, yeah, I do. Occasionally I go around his house and he puts me on his shoulders and carries me around. I've got nothing on Bernie.
Before we take a break, it is the start of the football season this weekend, and you're probably wondering, what have the footballers been doing over summer? Well, Cristiano Ronaldo has been appearing in ads for the latest craze to sweep Japan, a facial exerciser.
Feeling on the beat, I might be just a repeat. Such a time like this, I always remember your smiling face. I love your smiling face, your smiling face. I love your smiling face, your smiling
I love it. Just imagine like people going up and going, your smile's looking really good. Have you been working out? Yeah, I mean, I've dropped a whole size in balaclava.
He didn't use it though.
No, that was amazing. There was clearly he turned up and went, I'm not putting it. In retrospect, Luis Suarez would have been a better choice. And look, not being ones to miss out on a craze, we here at The Last Leg have done our little bit to bring the facial exerciser to the world with this commercial.
Before there was camel toe before.
Yeah, you've done both camel toe and seagull's head tonight. We'll be back for the last leg as Josh looks at the last 7 days featuring dancing babies and musical cows. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to the last leg where we are still joined by Noel Fielding, who's about to go on tour. Is that right?
Yeah, I
doing
just realised I'm funnier in a tent though. I have to do the whole show from in a tent. Yeah, I'm going on tour in October, yeah.
Right. What's the name of the tour? Is there a name of it? Is there
An evening with Noel Fielding.
Really?
I'd get a real cheesy name. Like it's going to have like some animation and some music and it's a story and a bit of stand-up and lots of different stuff, yeah.
And how much of the show have you written?
Half of it.
Good. Okay.
That's so true. Definitely not 3/4 of the first half.
Now, Josh has been taking a look at the quirkier events of the last 7 days. As always, Josh, what have you got?
I've got some videos for you, Adam.
Please.
Question.
Yep.
Do you want to see a man calling cows using a trombone? Bear in mind, if the answer's no, we're no longer friends.
More than most things in the world.
It is as good as it sounds. Here it is. Not many shows you get that on, is there?
It's all cute, but he was sat in front of an abattoir.
It turned grim when he started playing The Last Post.
Just looked like the least popular act at Glastonbury.
What else have you got?
Right, you're a father?
Yes, I am.
Would you like to know how to stop a baby crying?
So much.
Here you go. Katy Perry is the answer.
Ooh. Amazing.
Thing is, you've got to choose then whether you prefer to hear a baby crying or Katy Perry.
We've just got time to check in on your Is It OKs. Let's see, is it okay? Oh, is it okay that Boris wants to be an MP? How do you feel about that, Boris Johnson? Oh, no!
We've got one of those cows has arrived. No, I get enough tweets saying I've got the same hair as Boris Johnson. I don't need him to get more famous.
You and Boris should all get together and maybe start a police tribute act.
What worries me about Boris is that maybe we've all been fooled by the dishevelled look and the messy hair into believing he's just a kindly old uncle. I'm concerned that if he ever becomes Prime Minister, he'll shave the head, don a grey suit, and suddenly this guy's running the country. Okay, we've got some of the results of your poll. By the way, we apologise for last week's poll. We said 100% of people thought that the Commonwealth Games were not shit. There was a technical error. We were using a North Korean polling system. 51% of people said it was not shit. 49% of people said it was a bit shit. Ooh, I know.
So, the only time we've had an interesting poll result and we fucked it up.
Tonight, people are things that you are more likely to happen in Britain than catching Ebola. You're more likely to see Joan Rivers do a fundraising concert for Gaza. You're more likely to see Vladimir Putin leading a Moscow Pride parade dressed as a drag queen. Millicent Dodd said you're more likely to see the end of a DFS sale. That is pretty much all we've got for you tonight. Would you please thank our guest, Noel Fielding? And my co-host, Josh Widdicombe. And Alex Brooker. Next week we'll be joined by Princess Leia herself, Hollywood legend Carrie Fisher. Tonight, though, we'd like to leave you with a recreation of a video we showed you a little earlier in the show. Alex Brooker will attempt to summon a cow into the studio by playing a trombone. Thanks for watching The Last Leg. My name's Adam Hills. See you next week for the next leg.
Didn't we used to deal with issues?
The only issue here, Josh, is sweet music, my friend.
Alex, what are you doing?
Well, I was always told that if you believe, you can achieve, but I believe, but it's all bullshit.
Can you actually play the trombone?
Yeah?
Alex, you've ruined the ending of the show. You've ruined it for all of us.